This is the Sephora Favorites Perfume Sampler Set, and today I'm breaking down the scents to help you figure out which bottle this might be worth the pickup for. Stick around to the end to figure out which bottle I would pick up. Hey y'all, Joe here. So again, today's gonna be pretty straightforward. I'm gonna give you what Sephora gave me, and then I'm gonna give you what I actually pick up. And then my final thoughts on which bottle I would actually buy. First up, Carolina Herrera, Good Girl. So this is the eau de parfum, and the notes are jasmine as well as cocoa and tonka bean. Give it a little spritz here. I mean, this opens so bright, so fresh and clean. I'm assuming it's the jasmine. I could be wrong, but it almost smells like pear in here. Slight cocoa and slight tonka bean. It's very subtle. It's mostly clean with a slight undertone of sweetness. Not bad. Up next, we've got Chloe by Chloe. This is the eau de parfum version, and there aren't any notes included in the breakdown, so I'll just read it to y'all. A fresh fragrance with an utterly innate sense of chic. Let's see what that means. So this fragrance is also very floral, kind of just general white flowers. Smells very clean, soapy. I would say it's not as powerful as Good Girl. It's kind of like a lighter version of that, and not as sweet. More so fresh. Up next, Dolce Gabbana Light Blue. Now, I know this fragrance gets compared a lot to Versace Mano Fresh, and this also doesn't really have keynotes on it. Sephora just describes it as a fresh, floral, fruity that reflects the sensuality of the Mediterranean lifestyle. So this one is much more citrusy. If you're looking for something much fresher and not floral, this is something good to take a look at. I definitely pick up lemon in here. Lemon and maybe like some white florals and a little bit of musk. This does get compared to Versace Mano Fresh, and I will say that to my nose, they both do smell very similar. Versace Mano Fresh smells less refined in a way that it's like the aquatic and more fruity accords are sharper, and here it's more subtle, softer, and much better done. Up next, we've got Giorgio Armani My Way. This is described as an elegant floral fragrance that invites you to broaden your horizons. So I get a slight bergamot, as well as very aquatic white florals, and some slight woods. This isn't like a floral smell like your grandma's house floral. Up next, we've got Gucci Floral Gorgeous Gardenia. This fragrance is described as fruity florals with gardenia blended with jasmine absolute. I think that jasmine note is kind of what you associate with powdery florals, because I'm definitely picking that up, but off the test strip it smells much more pleasant and fresher, and the air is kind of where you get that very powdery floral scent. My partner and I really don't like floral powdery scents, but these are all smelling pretty good. Yeah, that one's not bad. It does smell very similar to, you know, the My Way. They all smell very similar, but yeah, I mean, I pick up the jasmine, and I'm guessing a little bit of that gardenia. This is definitely not your typical powdery floral scent. That gardenia comes across very green and clean, and that jasmine just helps elevate that. Next, we've got Maison Margiela Replica by the Fireplace. So this is described as a sweet and warm gourmand fragrance with orange flower, clove oil, and chestnut with a vanilla base. It definitely gives you By the Fireplace vibes. I will say I like this one a lot more than Jazz Club. It's very warm. I would probably wear this to like the coffee shop or something. I definitely pick up that chestnut as well as vanilla. Not much of the orange flower, maybe very subtly, and I'm not very familiar with clove oil, so I can't say I pick it up, but it's very pleasant. Up next, we've got Marc Jacobs Daisy Oh So Intense. This is also described as fruity florals. So the keynotes here are daffodil along with almonds and jasmine flower, as well as a velvety sandalwood. Excited for this one. That opening does smell like daffodil and almonds. You get that jasmine flower right away, but that velvety sandalwood is at the bottom. I know this is described as a fruity floral scent, but it smells very clean, but yet creamy, subtly creamy. Yeah, that one's not bad. Up next, we've got Nest New York Wild Poppy. Another fruity floral fragrance with rose de grass. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that, my apologies. Himalayan Jasmine and luscious aromas of pear, raspberry, and apricot. That's pretty exciting, actually. This is very fruity. Yeah, this one smells really good. Definitely picking up that apricot mixed in with that raspberry, and the pear just kind of sits on top. Yeah, this one smells great. This one's very fruity, not so floral heavy, very pleasant. Up next, we've got Prada Candy. Okay, I kind of like this description. We're gonna read it. Rethink reality with Prada Candy Eau de Parfum Spray. A joyful olfactory balance combining caramel accord with warm benzoin resin and wrapped in a cloud of white musk. I love that description. All right, let's see what we get. exactly as it's described. It's so well balanced. It's very warm, but sweet and subtle, not overpowering. You definitely get that caramel accord in the opening, as well as that benzoin and that white musk. This one's, yeah. You definitely pick up all of those. I would say aside from By the Fireplace, this is probably one of the more unique fragrances in this set. Up next, we've got Valentino Voce Viva. I think that's how you pronounce that. Correct me in the comment section. This is a warm, woody, floral scent with fresh orange blossom and golden gardenia paired with Italian bergamot and mandarin. I'm excited. I wonder if that opening is going to be very citrusy. You get that orange blossom and gardenia right in the opening. I can smell a bit of the sweetness from the mandarin. I don't really get a lot of citrus from the bergamot. If it's in there, I can't really make it out. But yeah, I pick up that orange blossom as well as that mandarin. Up next, Versace Bright Crystal. This is just described as fresh, vibrant, and flowery. All right, let's see what we pick up. This is definitely on the fresher side. Not as floral, but I do pick up yuzu, maybe a little bit of lotus. It's very aquatic, fresh, a little musky, so maybe some musk in there. Up next, we've got Viktor & Rolf Flower Bomb. This is described as a lavish floral perfume, an explosion of cattleyas, freesia, rose petals, and jasmine. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing anything. Very sweet. I gotta be honest, Flower Bomb is a little misleading, or maybe I'm just not that well versed, but this is so sweet and sharp too. I mean, it really pierces your nose in a very pleasant way. I really enjoy this fragrance. Must be the freesia and the cattleyas or cattleya. I don't know how to pronounce it, but whatever that is. It's like sharp, slightly bitter, but not bitter like a grapefruit. Just like this vanilla-y, not spicy, like vanilla, slightly bitter, sweet scent. This is great. And last but not least, YSL Black Opium. Now, my partner loves Black Opium Melissa Green, so I'm really excited to see what this one smells like. Black Opium is described as a seductively intoxicating fragrance with opening notes of adrenaline-rich coffee, a sweet vanilla that reclines into a softness of white flowers for a young, modern scent. Coffee, we'll see. I do get that hint of coffee in there. It's a slightly sweet coffee, and that vanilla helps round it out. It's not like a French vanilla cappuccino, but it's kind of like a slight coffee bean with vanilla. So you do get that coffee accord and a slight sweet vanilla, and the florals are very soft. It's not overpoweringly powdery. So this one's very enjoyable as well. So my final thoughts, Carolina Herrera Good Girl, I would definitely pick up if you want to walk into a room and stand out. It's very powerful and very pleasant to smell. Chloe by Chloe, personally, it's kind of like a weaker version of Good Girl, and that could just be the influence of me smelling one right after the other, but it's just not my favorite, so I would probably pass on that one. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, I would say yes. It's very well refined and a very pleasant smell, very citrusy. I would say if you want something that's less refined to stand out a bit more, you can probably go with Versace Mano Fresh. It's essentially the same thing, just not as refined, but still very pleasant to smell. Giorgio Armani My Way, I would say yeah. It doesn't really stand out in my mind. I can't even really recall too much of it, but I remember it being pretty pleasant. Gucci Flora, I would probably pass. I mean, a lot of these, once you get into like those very floral fragrances, they smell very similarly, so some of these are gonna have to get axed. By the Fireplace surprised me and I was very pleased with it. I would definitely pick it up if you want something a little more cozy, you know, especially kind of in that winter time when it gets really cold. Daisy Oh So Intense, I would say it's a pretty good pickup. It's much more fresher, not as floral heavy as some of the other scents here. Wild Poppy, I would definitely pick up if you're looking for something a little more fruity. I did enjoy the pear and raspberry notes in there. Prada Candy, yes. I mean, personally, this could be a bias. I really enjoy Prada fragrances, but I would say it's very unique. I'm not saying it's unique because I think a lot of people do buy Prada Candy. At least every time I've gone to a Sephora and Ulta, people are looking for Prada Candy. But it is unique in that it's not your very traditional powdery floral type fragrance. Definitely a standout fragrance within this set. Voce Viva, I would say yes. It's a much sweeter floral. You know, like I said, it's not very powdery. It's very pleasant, and that mandarin in there makes it nice and sweet and subtle. Flower Bomb, I would pick up. There's something about that fragrance that just caught my attention right away. It smelled very familiar, and I can't quite pinpoint why. If I ever do, I'll let y'all know in another video, but I enjoyed it and I would definitely pick it up. Black Opium, I enjoy the coffee note in there. It's very subtle, but it blends well with the vanilla, and I would definitely pick it up. I know when my partner was looking at the Black Opium line, they were kind of smelling each one, and Melissa Green was the one that stood out the most to them. but this one also would have been a cool pickup in my opinion. Like always, I'd love to hear y'all's feedback. Let me know what fragrance is the most interesting to you, what fragrance you would consider picking up and why, or whether you agree or disagree with me. Like always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you enjoy these videos, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button because it helps me create more content. I'll see y'all in the next video.